Angry Jim now.
Yo, what's going on, everybody? This is another episode of FHW Radio. I'm your host. I have here with me Jack.
I'm Jack Smith. You can get me on Twitter at Flyers Yak.
And I'm here with Steve.
I'm Steve Ferrari. Don't have my Twitter handle handy, but I will have it for next podcast. So stay tuned for that.
More. Mainly, it's been all Jimmy, so we gotta get our names out there, our Twitter handles out there.
Yeah, you guys can. I think I changed mine yesterday. I'm Angry Jim _ FHW Radio.
By the way, I have to say, Jimmy, not to interrupt, but if you can't watch the game and you follow Jimmy on Twitter, you will feel like you're listening to the radio. I missed the Vegas game, the second one, and every update he gave me, it was like I was watching the game. It was great.
Can you guys
stuff.
see?
It's good follow. Worth the follow.
Thanks for that, Jack. Yeah, I try to call it like I see it. I try to be as Homer as possible.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, we're 6 games into the season now, guys. They're 3-3, which is 500. And I know for myself, I expected a little bit more of a better start, especially at home. These last 2 games, we're seeing, the same trends, the same slow starts as last year. No life, no real passion from the players. And to me, or where do you guys think that comes from? For the players to come out flat and not really wake up till they get scored on, which through 6 games, they haven't scored first yet.
Well,
where does that fall to?
I say this. I'm very quick to blame the coach, but it's not just the coach. It's a little bit on the players too. Even the captain a little bit. Like, how for your home opener, how are you not ready to rock? Like, I'd be going nuts. Like, I don't understand. Like they were 1-1 at the time, and they come out flat and they get blown out. You know what it is? They don't get up for big games. I think your home opener is a pretty big game, and it just reminds me of when they played Washington. I think it was Hakstol's first year as coach in the first round of the playoffs. I think it was the first home game. Ed Schneider had just passed away. They're giving out the bracelets. Flyers come out. They actually came out fine. They scored the first goal. They lost 6-1. Like, they don't get up for big games. This season, past couple of seasons, they don't play the first period. Like, we were at the game on Friday, me and Jimmy, and I would say the only good time they played during the first period was the power play they had, which they did not score on, and then they immediately let in a goal after that. Mm-hmm. Like, they just don't play the first period. I don't know. I guess the first game in Vegas, they didn't score the first goal, but they responded well. This season's been off to such a very strange start. If you just go down the first 6 games, they came out against Vegas. They looked great. Slow start looked great. They didn't look so hot against Colorado at all. Okay, whatever. Then who they play after that? That was the San Jose. Absolute shit show, horrible. Okay, then they go and they play Ottawa. I don't think they played that. They played okay and they won, probably against a bottom dwelling team.
Yeah, they played down to a bad team.
Right. Yeah, and then they play amazing against Vegas. Can't finish. Take the loss. Then on Tuesday, they play Florida. They offensively look great. Defensively, they look like complete crap. Goaltending wasn't there. They sneak out a 6-5 shootout win.
After blowing a 5-2 lead.
Yeah, they blew a 5-2 lead. What is this team? Like, what a strange start. The strangest 3-3 start I've ever seen. It's so inconsistent. And yeah, if they could get up for these games and get them off the better starts, you have a better record right there. And it's a lot. I mainly blame the coach because I do think that it's his preparation, and who else gets the team up besides the captain? It's a culture thing. Like, you have to go out there and you have to kick ass, especially at home. They don't let the other team skate all over you. But I think part of it might be because their defense is so rough right now, and they just can't get anything out of their own zone. If they do, it's not passing; it's off the glass and out, which is giving up possession.
So I heard somebody say on the radio today that the reason for the Flyers' issues is because of their offense. Steve, what do you think about that?
Because of their offense. I'm going to go with a big fat no on that one.
I would agree with that.
The only thing I would add is I heard that they're not the best at helping the breakout. Like they get any pressure and they just dump it back to the defenseman. They got to do it all over again. But I would still say it's definitely the defense first, goaltending second. Like I wouldn't say it's the offense.
I mean, if you want to blame the forwards, the pass is coming from the D-men, and generally they're not getting a clean pass. Like you said, they're going up off the boards. It's not like some other teams where you watch them tic-tac-toe and they're out of the zone and going the other way real quick. With the Flyers, if it's not Ghost or Provorov, the pass, they never know where they're getting it from. So, yeah, maybe they're dumping it back to the defense, but that's because the defense put them in that position to start with.
It's in their skates, and it's ahead of them a lot as well.
Yep.
It sounds like whoever made the comment saw like a very small portion of a certain game and the offense just wasn't helping or made a mistake that led to an odd man rush or something like that.
I took it as the offense isn't scoring enough goals, and I'm like, dude, what the hell team are you watching?
No, that's crazy.
I mean, yeah, maybe in the Vegas game they got shut out, but you know what? Fleury played his ass off that game.
Yeah, they had the more chances. They just made a defensive gaffe at the end of the game and paid for it. That was it. Like they had more shots and quality shots. Fleury made some really nice saves.
Yeah, he robbed them a couple times.
There's four. You could say the defense, the goaltending, the penalty kill, the coach. I would say all of that before the offense.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so I wholeheartedly disagree with that. It's just not.
Was that on Sports Talk?
I think it was on like 94 WISP or whatever it was.
Was it a caller?
I think it was a caller that said that. Yeah, and it wasn't even like a hockey guys talking about it, but it came on.
There are no hockey guys.
Yeah, I was gonna say there are no those.
Nah, so I was like, what the hell, man?
I think that's your surface Flyers fan watching a game, not seeing them score enough goals and go, okay, the offense must be the problem.
Yeah, I watched the Vegas game and that was it.
Exactly.
Yeah, I agree with that. Absolutely.
So for me, for this team to continue coming out flat, I mean, I posted something on Twitter the other day. I don't know how many people responded, but I would agree that, and I'm going to get to the coach in a second, it doesn't all fall to the coach. I would agree I you have a captain for a reason. You have assistant captains for a reason. And they need to hold each other accountable. And I like Giroux. I love Giroux. He's an amazing player, but that doesn't mean that he's a great captain by any means. So, and I'm not saying that he is a bad captain. He's okay, but he's no Pronger. He's not a guy that is going to scare me into playing well. Do you know what I mean? And I don't really see that from him. Whatever happens behind closed doors, I'm not going to pretend that I know. But I don't see that kind of passion and emotion from him on the bench. He'll give the referee a look once in a while. He'll go over and talk to the ref, and that's fine. But what about holding each other accountable? And then to the coach, this all stems from the coach, because I believe that I mean, you've all played sports before. If your coach is calm and cool and quiet and come here, let's talk this over. That's how you're going to be. You're going to be calm during games. You're going to be calm, cool, collective. I don't want to see that. Do you know what I mean? You know how we are as Flyers fans. Like, we're nuts. You know, we wear our emotions on our sleeves. If you piss us off, you're going to know about it. We're going to boo the shit out of you right away. First game of the year, whatever it is. You could win the Super Bowl, and if you look like shit, we're going to boo you because we expect better.
It's effort.
And this coach that we have is the complete opposite of us. And I think that's why he annoys us even more. Is because you see no life from him at all. He's like he's a skeleton back there. And if I'm a guy, for me, if my coach is like that, it's hard for me to get amped up for games or even respect him, to be honest with you, because I like a guy that's in my face. It's a contact sport, man. They're playing 1,000,000 miles an hour. If I'm going out there like, all right, I'm going to pace myself, take my time, you're going to come out flat. And you're going to get scored on first every single game until somebody knocks you on your ass or until somebody puts one in the back of your net, and now you're already playing catch-up. And I think it all stems from Hakstol. And a lot of people forget, because we had all summer to forget about it. They look like – I was going to curse, Jack. I stopped myself. They looked like total crap man, in the Pittsburgh series. Yeah, okay, what did they win? 2 games?
Yeah, but you could clearly tell they were not 2 games worse than Pittsburgh. They were much.
They won 2 games, but when they lost, they lost.
Yeah.
So
Like,
if you look back, you're like, okay, they lost 4-2. It was probably a really tough series, but you go look at the scores. Maybe you go watch a couple games, and you're like, dude, they look bad.
It was 4-2, but it was bad.
It could have easily been 4-0, 4-1. There was no heart. There was no passion. It was like they're getting their asses whooped, and that was the end of it. No pushback.
Well, let me say this because you threw a lot at me. First, on Drew as the captain, I think he's a good captain. I think he's really good, like in the locker room and behind closed doors, like that story that came out where I think Provorov and Konechny were sharing a room or something, and he hid in a closet and like scared the shit out of them or something. They're like kids. He's 30 and he's the captain. He's doing that. I think it's great. Like, you know. And what I want to see is more the only thing about his captaincy that a little bit bothers me right now is I just want to see him get up for big games and get up early. The only big game I saw him really show up for was when they needed to win to get into the playoffs, and he had the hat trick.
Yep.
The only thing is they played the Rangers, and the Rangers sucked.
Yeah.
It's not like they went out there and knocked off Washington or so. Where's the Giroux who during the first 2012 Stanley Cup playoffs against Pittsburgh?
That's what I was going to say.
Went out on the ice, nailed Crosby, and then scored. Like that's the guy I want to see. And when you need to see it, when they can't get these games, it's been 6 games. You need to score the first goal. Like, come on, let's go. So, that's it though. I feel like I'm nitpicking because I really like Giroux as the captain. A lot of people, Simmons should be the captain. Blah blah. Giroux's captain. He's more talented. He's the captain. They respect the shit out of him. I'm not saying they don't for Simmons, but Drew's your captain. Like, come on.
Yeah, that's not even a contest. Putting those two together. I mean, yeah, Simmons he's a glue guy, but he's not your captain.
Exactly.
I think Giroux. I love him. One of my favorite Flyers of all time. But yeah, I mean, aside from the Rangers game where they had the hat trick, I can't remember another big game that he got up for outside of that Pittsburgh playoff game.
And to be
honest, can't think of one big game that he was the one that set the tone early on.
Definitely hasn't happened in the playoffs. Yeah, nothing in the playoffs. Even his shootout percentage has gone down. Like, it used to be his thing. He used to be great. He started off so good on the shootouts, which we historically are bad at, so that was great. 1-0 right now, undefeated right now. But he didn't score on Tuesday. I'm not going to kill him for one, but he used to be like an 80% chance of scoring, and now I think he's as low as 40 or 38 or something. I don't know. He used to be very reliable on that, had all sorts of moves, and just not really in big moments like you were saying. But to get on Hakstol, I understand what you're saying about the emotion that always drives me nuts. And I don't need the Tortorella who's screaming at his own players for every little thing, because I think that causes problems. You don't want to get shown up in front of your teammates. However, I do think it'd be nice if he said something to Mcdonald when in big situations he suddenly falls, where you're telling kids they can't be on the big club because they made a mistake, Felipe Myers, and he makes these mistakes constantly to the point where it's a joke. And I'll bring this up only because we're talking about Mcdonald, and it's like I don't know the actual advanced metric stats. I do know the outcome. The outcome basically is that when Mcdonald this year on the ice, he gives up more when he's out there, more shots are taken against our team than a lot of power plays. So if you break it down, essentially you're saying that you're better off being a man down than you are with Mcdonald on the ice. That's what that stat breaks down.
Yeah.
And that's, I mean, you're going to rush him back early. He already can't skate. I don't understand that. He makes bad decisions. He's not in position. The first goal of the season is proof of that. He's going for a full line change. There's a 3-on-0 coming the other way. I don't know. I think he needs to rake him over the coals.
They scored first?
They certainly did.
Wait, what happened?
They scored. We got one.
I'm missing that. I'm yelling about McDonald's.
It was TK deflected from Hag.
Fuck, I was going to say he scores tonight.
Yep.
Dude, he's been due, man.
I said no cursing. I just dropped an F-bomb, Jimmy. So
I didn't even notice.
Yeah. Anyway, so I mean, we always have our issues with Hakstol, and to be honest, I've actually seen a little bit of fire because I think the seat
Hot seat
is a little warm.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but see that little bit of fire.
Not yet. I think it's warming up. They are still 3-3, but they're not going to get past these defensive gaffes, and God knows what's going on in goal right now. So, I mean, I'm seeing a little fire, at least towards the officials. Nothing crazy, but
yeah. But see that fire. It's like that was like a Monday practice for Laviolette. That was like nothing.
Dude, and that's who I always think of when I think of an ideal coach. It's Laviolette. Like, he's my ideal guy.
Yeah. He knew,
like, he can chew the shit out of you, but yes, he knows the buttons.
No,
like,
I love Laviolette. It's just
his style wears thin.
Yeah, teams get tired of it and they just can't do it anymore. You see a lot of his teams, they can't quite make it through the playoffs because they're burnt out. It's a great system though, and he's got the players. That's why he's so successful. But he just burns out. His demeanor, I loved. I would totally be for that. So I don't know what they're going to do. They're already talking about how, like, in 2 years, Hakstol's not going to be here. I mean, and like we were saying off air, his whole thing. Well, he's good with the young guys. Man, we've talked about this before on this podcast. But, okay, Nolan Patrick, second overall pick of the draft. Don't think he's going to need a whole lot of guidance. If it is, I hope it's from other players on the ice.
Yeah.
Even if he's gotten it already, what has Patrick shown you that shows that he's been coached up?
I don't know. Like, it's a good question. Like,
I only saw him for not even a handful of games so far this year, but he didn't impress me one bit.
Well, what I was going to say was with Patrick, you've seen exactly what you expected. Like, he was hurt going into last year, so you give him kind of a pass for the beginning of the year. And then when you saw him in the second half, you could tell he was much more healthy. And that's when you saw everything that they talked about kind of coming out in the draft. You didn't really see anything new, I'll say. Like, there wasn't anything that it seemed like he learned. Like, he was defensively responsible, and he pretty much played the game you would fully expect him to play. Like, I don't know where you could say Hakstol really put any development into him. I mean, granted, it's only a year, but if you're talking about developing young guys, I see exactly what I expected to see out of Patrick, not more so.
Yeah, like, the only thing Hakstol did was put him on the power play when Simmons went down. Well, he's your second line center, number 2 overall pick of the draft. He's probably pretty good. That's probably where he should go. Like, at the very least, see what he's got. Other than that, when he was healthy, you saw the skill. You didn't see coachable things like that.
Right.
He had like a pass through his legs to behind him. This is earlier in the season before he got hurt the first time. Instead of just taking a shot on net, like that kind of poise at that age, you don't get taught that. You either have it or you learn it later if you ever do at all. That was all skill. That was all Patrick. It had nothing to do with the coach. So his defense is in complete shambles. So I don't know who, or in the goaltending. So he no teaching or anything there. So, maybe Konechny, but I don't know. He kind of like casts Konechny out when he makes defensive gaffes because that's the kind of player he is.
Yep.
So I don't think if anything, he's just, hey, you screwed up, you're in trouble. He's not teaching. I don't see him teaching him anything. Like, I don't see any player under Hakstol who just because he's under Hakstol was just great.
I'll give you one.
Go ahead.
I was going to say Lawton's the only guy.
Yeah, I was thinking him too. I didn't want to say him though, but I was thinking him.
He went from being a first-round pick to being a penalty killer, but instead of him being lost to the AHL, at least he's been a serviceable NHL player. But, I mean, you basically went from a guy you were counting on to be a top 6 forward to a penalty killer and your 4th line or 3rd line center or winger.
Well, I will say this. I don't even give Hakstol credit for Lawton. I believe they sent him to the Phantoms for like 2 years, and the whole idea was he's going to be our 4th line center.
True.
And Hakstol had never even saw him, probably never even met him. Like, he's like, okay, this guy's going to be your center. And, the guy was a first-round pick, so he does have some skill, and it's starting to show. He's going up against a little bit lesser competition on the 3rd line and all, but I don't think Hakstol – I think that's – 2 years of being with the Phantoms, saying you were a first-round pick, you're not working out as a top 6 player. You better hope this works out. You're not going to be an NHL player. And to Lawton's credit, he worked at it, and it's the role he's being used in has worked out so far. More so in the early goings of this year, for sure. So with that, we'll get off of Hakstol a little bit, just because Where are you guys at with, and give me like season expectations and maybe something you could think of that we could do with this defense, because not one player really looks that good defensively.
Jimmy, you want to take it?
Yeah, I'll start off and then I'll give it over to you. So, I mean, as far as defense, like, what do I expect from this team? I expected a little bit better than this, but this is the weakness, the defense and goalie, and it's biting us in the ass almost every single game. And the slow starts. I'm not going to go to Hakstol because I know we want to move on, but dude, the coach, goalie, defense, and it's showing up every single game except for the Vegas game. But as far as not seeing any, who's actually surprising me on defense, and you could argue that he's been the most decent, solid defenseman so far, is Gudis.
Well, I liked how he's played so far this year over last year, but Hag is the most standout for me.
Okay, yeah, Hag too, sure.
Yeah.
That's where I thought you were going.
Go ahead.
Yeah, it's not just because of his offense too. He got an assist on that TK goal too, which is nice. So he's got like 5 points on the season already. Yeah. He's just been the most consistent on both ends of the ice, where Provorov he's really got to – this is where Hakstol could show me something if he can get Provorov on the right track, because this guy's way too good. I think he knows he's the number one, or he's going to at least be the number one defenseman, and he's putting too much on his shoulders. You can see he's doing more. Like he kind of let Ghost do the thing, and he was the responsible one. And I don't know if he feels like he has to, but he's going up and he's trying to dangle through 3 defensemen on a power play. Like that doesn't make sense. And he's losing. He's screwing up, and I don't. He shouldn't feel pressure, but I really think this is Gord Murphy, the defensive coach, who should also be on the hot seat right now. And Hakstol really need to like talk to the guy, be like, why don't you just go back to basics or something? Like whatever you're doing last year worked, so let's do that, and everything else will come in time. And it's still early, so I hope that something. If he just stays in this rut all year, you got to blame Provorov's.
Well,
but the coaches as well. Like, what are they doing? Just watching this train wreck, or are they doing something about it? Ghost, as we've always known, he's had those defensive deficiencies, and he makes up for it on offense. And just watching him stick handle and skate, he's good. Yeah. Just wish he was like that in his own end. Gudis is Gudis. McDonald's an absolute joke. I already gave you that stat. Folin looked good on Tuesday. He looked really bad against Colorado. He was a +4 on Tuesday. So
he actually looked pretty decent,
right? Like I'm at the point where I would break up Ghost and Provorov, because if they're going to play like that,
dude, I was going to ask that question. Yeah. I was going to ask that because I think playing with Ghost is actually messing with Provorov a little bit, because Ghost, let's be honest, he's not a good defenseman. He's a good offensive defenseman, but he's not the best defensive defenseman. So I think going into games, I think Provorov knows that he's going to have to do a little bit more on the defensive side to make up for Ghost. And I wonder if that's messing with him a little bit. So I'm thinking if you put him with Hag, who's showing some offensive ability this year, right? That's what we're saying.
Mm-hmm. So far.
If you were to put him with a guy like Hag, maybe it'll make him a little bit more comfortable, or maybe Provorov can take a couple more offensive chances since Hag's maybe is a little bit more stay at home. Since we're talking about Hag real quick, what bothers me about him still is the outlet passes out of the zone. We can get more on that, but for Provorov, I think it would benefit him to switch him off Gostisbehere's line. The next question is, who do you pair up with Ghost?
Yeah.
Well,
Hag ideally, but
I was going to go Ghost and Hag, and then I was going to go keeping McDonald out of the lineup. Provorov, geez, what happened there? And Folin. Just because I just feel like they would play decently to better. Folin, from what I've read, is somewhat of a smart defensive player, and if Provorov could be the Ghost of that line, I think he would play a little bit better. I think he would not have to worry, because Ghost isn't exactly going to go help Provorov out. If Provorov's skating up through the zone, Ghost is probably already there.
Exactly.
More staying home, more. From what I read, he's smarter, but Colorado kind of makes me nervous to say that. Like, he was really bad that game. But he showed me something with Florida, and if he's replacing McDonald, I'm okay with that. McDonald's really, really bad right now. And then your fourth pair is Sanheim and Gudis. That's not the worst. Or yeah, your third pair. That's not so bad. You know, I'm not ready to shoot Sanheim up through the lineup. I still think he needs some seasoning.
I think they're the best pairing so far out of the three. Sanheim, am I coming in really foggy?
A little bit, nothing bad.
Okay. I think Sanheim and Gudis are the most impressive pairing so far, in my opinion.
You know what it is? They play a simple brand of hockey. And going back to Provorov, that's exactly what he's not doing right now. Everything he's doing, it looks like he's trying to almost make it as difficult as possible. And in his first couple of years, his best attribute was everything he did look so easy because he was making the simple plays, he was making the easy plays, and now I feel like he's just trying, like you guys said, he's trying to do too much, and he's getting out of his element, if you will. Like he it's almost like he wants to be Ghost a little bit, but he doesn't have that same offensive skill level. Now, granted, I think if he just simplifies his game, he's going to be the best defenseman on the team. But he's just not. He's playing. It looks like he's just trying too hard. He's gripping the stick a little too hard, and he's just thinking about everything. If he stops thinking and just starts playing, I think we'll see that come back to him. I wonder if the injuries last year kind of developed a couple bad habits because he was compensating for those. So now he feels healthy and maybe thinks he can do a little more and just make the easy plays. That's all you got to do.
This is exactly what I hope the coaches are telling him. I mean, it's pretty simple, and even if they're wrong, you have to try something.
Yep.
And it makes the most sense because he's the guy the even keel defenseman who does everything right, who's first to the rink and all that kind of stuff, And because he thinks he is good. Well, he should be the number one defenseman. Maybe he does feel the pressure, but he's still super young. Like he doesn't need to. Somebody needs to talk to him, and that's what the coaches are for. So I mean, it's still completely in shambles. The only thing they can do is change up the lines. I don't see Myers coming up unless there's a major injury. Moran's not coming until probably after the trade deadline. I doubt they move anybody. So the only thing they can do is shuffle the lines, and we'll see.
I think we're stuck. That's why I have a hard time talking about like line changes, blah blah blah, because you just know that they're going to play Mcdonald. Gudis is not going anywhere, so. When are Myers and when Moran's back? When the hell's he even going to get playing time? If somebody gets hurt, or they're gonna keep benching Sanheim, or what are they going to do here?
I mean, if this Mcdonald keeps up, they're going to have to bench him. I mean, he's been sent to the Phantoms before. He's really bad this year so far. Like they can't even hide it anymore. Like in early games, Hakstol would be like, I don't think he played that bad. Like, are you kidding me? Like
Are you watching the same game?
Yeah, like I mean, I get you. It's like Andy Reid would always be like, I got to do a better job. Well, sometimes your players just really screwed you. Like I get it, you cover for the guy, but how bad is too bad? Like, and I think they finally realized, like, you need to sit down. Like, you don't know what's going on. We'll blame it on the injury, which it partly is, but
he would make one mistake a game that would lead directly to a goal.
Big mistake. Yep. He'll make one big mistake a game. Like not little things like. That directly lead to goals, and it's just like I don't understand what they see in this guy. He must just be like really good veteran, nicest guy who's really respectful and just donates half his $5 million to charity or something. Like I don't understand. Like that's what scares me about Hakstol and even Hakstol is like you can't look at this guy and see talent. And that scares me for when you go into free agency and you evaluate your own guys. Like, can you really see defensive talent like I thought you could? Because this shows me nothing. This is a joke and has been ever since we got him. 6 years of hell.
That's what depresses me, man, because no matter we have to wait another year of this. He's going to be on the roster for all of this year. I would bet that there's no way he gets benched for – I would say more than 5 games. He's not a healthy scratch for more than 5 games. He's going to be in the lineup, which means we're not going to see Myers, who I want to see.
Mm-hmm.
And are we going to see Moran?
I think they will see Moran at some point this year. Foligno will sit. Sanheim might even sit. Gudis could sit. They'll work it out, and I'm sure there'll be injuries. It's the hockey season. There's always injuries, even if it's like a day-to-day. He'll get some playing time. They really got to see what they have in him for sure. And to even have him play, they might have to send somebody down anyway. So let's move on from defense. How about Elliott? Like, I thought he started off the season strong, but he did not look good in Florida at all.
I mean, he's basically he's being Brian Elliott. He's doing exactly what he's done his whole career. He'll have a good start here and there, and then he lets in some soft goals, and it's exactly what we've experienced for how long with our goalies. It's the same story. We've never had that goalie that can cover up Andrew Mcdonald's mistakes, that he keeps those pucks out of the back of the net. I mean, yeah, Elliott will do it for stretches, but he's not a goalie you build a team around. He's just not. He's too inconsistent night to night. You never know what you're going to get out of him.
Yeah, he does, like you're saying, he doesn't erase mistakes. We need a goalie who just sometimes stops a breakaway.
Yeah.
Stops a breakaway. Like, it's almost an automatic goal. Like, my heart sinks every time they get on a breakaway against Florida. They scored on that one penalty kill, power play rather, like immediately. They scored immediately, and then there was a breakaway. Like, all of a sudden, it's 5-4. It's like, what the hell happened?
Wait, can somebody tell me? Because I was sitting down this end. What happened on the goal where it looked like it was icing, but it wasn't icing, and he just kind of let the puck come out in front? Somebody jammed it right in.
No, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know why he thought it was icing. That was such a bad goal. So, like,
what the hell was he doing there?
I think he thought he would have had control of it when it bounced off the boards, but it had a little more speed and got out of his reach. And he was kind of covering the pipe. And then all of a sudden, there's a little bit on the defense too. They let whoever it was skate right by them and go for the puck. You know, because if it was icing, well, where was the defense to get the call? Because this guy rushing in would have beat them to the icing call. So it was a gaffe across the board. But he could have just put his glove on it. We wouldn't have had to
covered it up. And that's
I don't know what he was thinking. Maybe he thought his defensemen were closer, but he's got to have better awareness. You can't tell me you can trust our defense.
That's what I'm saying, man.
Yeah, like he has to. It was really a mental mistake. I don't know what was going on.
Dude, this is exactly what you guys are bringing up, though. Like, all right, dude, you don't have to make the big stop, but don't make the big screw up either. And that's what he did.
Yep, exactly.
Like, you're supposed to be the veteran guy, man. Take charge and just grab the puck, dude. Don't wait for someone else. What was he waiting for? What do you think was going to happen?
Shit.
Well, 2-0?
Well, the Blue Jackets scored like a minute and a half ago, and Coots just threw one on the net that I think Bob just completely missed. Pretty hideous for him. It looked like a Brian Elliott goal.
Wait, so it's 2-1 now?
2-1, yeah.
Woo!
Might have the lead at the end of intermission, boys.
Wow. What's that like?
Do you guys remember your picks?
I said 9 games.
9?
Well, I think I forget what I said, but
I said 82.
Yeah. I just said when they score first in the game, and didn't they do that against
No.
Scored in the first period. Was that it?
Scoreless in the first period, which was Vegas.
Oh, Vegas. That's what it was.
Yeah.
Make it out of the first period without giving up a goal. Okay.
Yeah, there you go.
The next one was going to be they score the first goal of the game. So finally, we're done all that.
All right, they're bucking the trend a little bit. I'll take Hakstol for another year.
Yeah, right there. That's half the fans right there. Mark it up. Wow, that was so. Provorov had an assist on that goal. That was his first assist of the year.
Come on, man! He's on my bench.
Oh, that sucks.
What the hell?
I hate to say, Jimmy, but I would have had him on my bench too. That's his first assist of the year. Like, come on.
Hey,
I know he's on the power play, but jeez. So
I have a stat here.
Picard's in net right now. What do you guys think of Picard?
He's another of those guys that he's a backup goalie, career backup.
But, like, where do you put him in line with Neuwirth and Stolars and even Elliott at this point?
Kind of I put them all together, honestly. Like, none of them inspire any confidence. If they're, like, to me, they're guys that they start 15 to 20 games a year when you have a workhorse. And that's ideal with them because you maybe get your good 10 starts. You maybe have 2 great, and then you have a couple clunkers in there. But
the Picard was actually the guy that Vegas took from Colorado, and from what I read, Colorado was actually a little upset. They liked him as a backup goalie. They said he's always good for one softie, but he's usually pretty solid after that.
The first one was a softie. It was a soft 5-hole goal.
Oh boy. Well, hopefully that's it then. Steady as she goes for the rest of the game. I mean, just that consistency and positioning. It's all I ask for. Like, and then that's what Carter Hart's best thing is his positioning. So we can look forward to that. So we really kind of talked about, I was going to do this expectation versus realization game where I'd say like, Lawton versus Patrick, where we thought Patrick would be great, but he kind of started off this season like last where he's injured already. There was a chance he could play tonight. I don't think he's in the lineup, though.
No, exactly.
I wouldn't rush him back anyway. Where Lawton's been great so far, but we discussed that. We discussed Hag and Provorov. How about Simmons? Simmons, we got 4 goals on the season right now, maybe 5.
Yeah, and a couple even strength ones too. I mean,
yeah, that's the most surprising thing.
I agree. He's basically become what Voracek was 5-on-5, and Voracek took his spot, and Voracek's been invisible 5-on-5.
Yeah, unbelievable. $8 million. So, all right, well, I mean, here's the thing. Just to look a little bit ahead, we kind of signed JVR knowing we were probably going to lose Simmons. So at this point, if you're in a playoff race, you really can't trade Simmons. You're going to let him walk for nothing?
Well, it depends what I'm getting back.
Well, do they trade? You think they do trade him at the deadline if they're in a playoff race?
If I'm getting back a top 4 defenseman, then I think that helps me more than Simmons does. So yes, if I'm in a playoff race, that's what I would do. But I'm not looking to sell him for picks or minor league players. If I'm dealing Simmons, it's to shore up my top 4 defense. That's the only way I would deal him right now.
The only thing I did hear, though, is that there might be a number they would agree with. It'd be 5 years, and the number per year for Simmons, from what I read, would be manageable. Like, we could still sign our guys and add other guys as well. And a lot of that goes to what he brings in the locker room as well, too. So, I mean,
I guess it would be, 5 for 25-ish?
I probably more than that. But I think it wouldn't be what he would get. He would get JVR money, if not more, on the open market.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
So it's like, if you got to remember, McDonald's making 5, and that's going to come off the books. 4.5 from Laterra's going to come off the books. You're probably going to get Provorov's probably not going to cost as much as you thought he would. I don't know how much he would save, but who knows? We got a lot of guys we got to sign. It might work out. Hakstol is pretty good with this. Look what he signed Coots for.
It's true.
Like, that was a hell of a deal. So we'll see. Wheel had his chance, scored a goal, and then won the game with a shootout goal. I mean, I saw nothing from him, and then on Tuesday it was like, okay, thank God, because JVR's out. Who knows when Noel Patrick comes back? So it was nice to see that. Plus, you want to see what you got from the guy. I'm starting to realize maybe he has to play with the top 6 to be effective, though. Because when he had that little run a few years ago, he was playing with the top 6. Maybe the top 9, and eventually got moved to the top 6. But since then, he's been in the bottom 6, and he hasn't really done anything. Put him on second line, he showed. So, and then the PK, I was going to bring the PK up, but it's exactly where it was last year, I believe. I think we're ranked 26th right now. They're just still horrible. I like the forwards, though. I like Lawton out there, Coots. They're fine. It's the defense and it's the goaltending. So and the system. I feel like all the power plays we go up against, they have all the time and room in the world. They're so comfortable back there.
I was just gonna say that I would much rather get beat from tic-tac-toe passing and a one-timer than watch them just move the puck around, wait, and nobody's challenging the guy. I would much rather play an attacking style of PK. I hate watching them just sit there. It drives me crazy.
Yeah, it's what it is. And when our power play doesn't score, it's when the other team pressures us. Yeah, so it's like all you got to do is look down the other end and, hey, maybe I'll try that. I don't understand Lapierre. I just don't get it.
So let me ask you, are you surprised that the power play is crap again?
Power play or penalty kill?
I'm sorry, the penalty kill, yeah.
No, they didn't change anything. I'm absolutely no. It's like elementary. They didn't add anybody. Hakstol said he wanted to add somebody. He added nobody to help the power play or the penalty kill. Excuse me. I mean, let me know if we go on a penalty kill. Corbin Knight's out there. I'm curious. And they didn't change the coach or the system. The only thing they did last year was Matt Reed played. They played a little bit better, and then they lost him, and they were right back to just being horrible again. So I'm not surprised. They didn't do anything to fix a problem. If I have a pipe that has a leak and I just don't do anything, it's going to keep leaking. Like, it's just simple as that. So, yeah,
Like
this is our lives now.
You really only have one stud defenseman, and that's, I would say, Provorov. If you go into a year where your defense and your goaltending are your weakest, what am I looking for? Your weakest links, yeah. I would say by default, your PK is going to be crap.
Yeah, that's a good point. Their defense is not playing good, especially in their own zone. Then you got goaltending who's shaky right now. So how are they going to be good? Like,
you take away, man. It's like, dude, how do you expect this to get better?
On top of the system not being good, because even when their goaltending was okay and Ghost and Provorov playing great, they were still getting scored on the PK. So now everybody's playing worse. You have the same system and the same coach. How is that going to turn into a winning formula? Like, come on. So, all right. So what? Yeah, I mean, I'm scared right now. Like, I go into every game basically like nervous. Like, I think Columbus is better than us. We got New Jersey, the undefeated New Jersey Devils coming up. You think we're going to beat them? Then we got to play Colorado again. We're going to be Colorado. I don't know. I'm happy to be 3-3 right now. I really am.
So I bring this up every time we get on here, but I want to get excited. I'm excited for every game that they play.
Yep.
And then I remember, dude, their defense is so bad. Our goalies are so bad.
You really think we're going to outscore? We're really going to outscore all these other teams to win? We don't have Matthews and Tavares. There's no way. There's no way. It's going to sputter out. This happened before Hakstol's first or second year. We were winning games, 8-7, and he sacrificed the offense to play more defensively, and we just can't win those 2-1 games.
Hakstol's a duck, man. He's a duck.
Oh, a turtle. Yeah, the third period turtle, the Hakstol turtle. Yeah, I know.
I hate him.
It's a shame. I don't know what he brings to the team. I'll never understand it. The people who really like him, like, I don't get it. Maybe they're from North Dakota or wherever the hell he came from. So like I brought it up. So we're playing Columbus tonight. So far so good, I guess. Knock on wood. I was going to say, how's Bobrovsky look, Steve?
He's made a couple of nice saves, but I mean the Flyers haven't really tested him all that much. Even the second goal, like I said, it was kind of weak. It looked like he thought it was either he was screened, I couldn't fully tell, or he thought it was going to get deflected, but he just missed it. It was one of his softy goals up top that he just completely whiffed on with his glove. The first one, it was a deflection through the 5-hole. I mean, it was a shot that missed the net, but other than that, he's looked pretty good. The one power play they had, he came up with a couple nice saves. So he looks like Bob.
Okay. I was going to say this game's going to come down to Bob. I feel like if he plays out of his world, they'll beat us because it's happened before. Especially if we're playing outscore the other team, and the other team's got a 2-time Vezina winning goaltender. I think they are without Seth Jones still.
They are. Yep.
Yeah, so that's great for us. Werenski's still pretty good, more on the offensive side. Their defensive unit as a whole is pretty solid. Obviously, you got Panarin and Weinberg and all those guys, but so far so good. I didn't think they were going to win tonight. I hope they pull it out because New Jersey's undefeated. I can't explain that one. I just know Kincaid, and it's his team now. I don't even think Schneider's team anymore. I think they're going to move Schneider to like St. Louis. Like, mark my words. Their defense has been pretty good. They didn't add anybody, and they're just whatever they're doing is working, and that's probably coaching. I'll be honest with you.
I was going to say they got coach.
Yeah. Hines is actually a pretty good coach.
It's amazing what a good coach can do for you. Like everybody likes, the coach, don't be so hard on them. Well, when I don't want to say far inferior, but an inferior team skill-wise, I truly believe that is undefeated and better, probably going to beat us and better than us. It's coaching. Like, what else is it? And then we play Colorado again. I mean, I guess it can't go as bad as it did the first time. I hope they don't think they're going to get a goal by their defenseman skating into their own goalie, but they got to figure something out. And they got that team, like Mikko Rantanen and McKinnon, and they're getting better on defense. The goaltending's pretty solid. Like, it's going to be another tough one. The only thing is that I believe Colorado's home. They're in Columbus right now, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. And I'm not sure if the Devils are home or away, but they never, throughout the history of the sport since
They
the
play
80s,
terrible.
they don't play the Devils well.
Oh my God.
So we're 3-3 right now. We pull this out.
Stanley Cup.
It doesn't look as bad as it looks if we win.
Yep.
I have a feeling that when we meet again, they're going to be like 4-4-1.
I was going to say they're going to be 500 still.
Yeah, I really believe that. So I don't know.
An interesting piece here for the tweet I was telling you about, and this is from Alexander Appleyard. So with 14 penalty minutes in the last game, Wayne Simmons became just the 19th player in Flyers team history to accrue over 700 penalty minutes. He now has 710. The last person to reach 700 penalty minutes as a Flyer was Scott Hartnell in 2011, 2012. And before him was Lindros in 97-98. So this is something that's pretty difficult to achieve, apparently. I'm sorry. So his next tweet for the same thread was Wayne Simmons could very well be the last player in Flyers team history to record 700 penalty minutes. With the way the league's going. Giroux is the second most active Flyer with 330. The only other current Flyer over 0.65 penalty minutes per game is Radko Gudas at 1.36. Now, Simmons is at 1.34 right now, so Gudas probably is not going to be around to see seven. He better not be anyway. See 700 penalty minutes.
I think that
was a cool stat.
It is. Yeah, it's an interesting stat. I can't believe how wide the gap is, but I think that's how the sport's changing. It sounds like it was Simmons, Hartnell, Lindros, and then all the Broad Street bullies after that.
Yeah, guys like Taka. Yeah,
they just don't fight like they used to. And they kind of handed Simmons a misconduct like they were handing out M&Ms. Like
that was a joke of a misconduct.
What was said in that scrum that warranted that? Like, I don't know. That was very strange to me. I don't see. I mean, if we ever picked up Tom Wilson, he could get 1,700 penalty minutes. That's it.
It's penalty just for breathing that guy.
Yeah, I don't know. It's an interesting stat, and it's unfortunate. I don't think anybody's going to come close to it because
I don't know if I'm really mad about that either.
Me neither. It's not the same game, so. I love Simmons. I love how he plays the game. It shows you what kind of player he is, but I think they're going to start to phase that out.
Here's a question for you, because Simmons is in a contract year. What's the over-under for penalty minutes for Simmons? It usually hits around 100.
Well, I think he'll hit about his average, maybe a little under, maybe a little over. I don't see why not. It might hit a little under if they tell him, don't fight so much because you're breaking down.
Well, I think for himself, he doesn't want to fight because, God forbid, he gets his face. He's not going to because he's Wayne Simmons, but somebody hits him the wrong way.
Either that or he breaks his hand.
Yeah,
breaks his hand on someone's face.
Exactly.
If his average is 100, I would say he lands somewhere in the 75 range simply because if he doesn't re-sign with the Flyers and makes it to free agency, other teams aren't going to look at his penalty minutes on signing him to a 5-6 year deal worth $7 million. They're going to look at his points, mainly his goals. Right. So I think you've seen him score more at even strength already. So he'll still defend his teammates. I don't think he'll do anything erroneous. The 10-minute, I can't blame him for the 10 minutes misconduct. That was ridiculous.
Yeah. That was
so I think he'll fall under his average because I know he wants to stay in Philly, but if he has to go elsewhere, he's going to go. At that point, he's going to get all he can, and they're going to want goals and stats, and he's already off to a good start in that direction. So
here's my next thing, because I'm for Simmons playing more offense and not getting hurt and staying on the ice, because a lot of the times the guy that Simmons fights, and it's not really a fair trade-off for 5 minutes. He's got a lot more skill than the guy he's beating up. So they'll fight Wayne Simmons any day if it means taking him off the ice for 5 minutes and sending one of their fourth line guys. But so back to my point, if Simmons isn't fighting and getting his hands dirty, and teams start taking runs at some of the younger guys, Nolan Patrick's already out. He's been out for a week. Who steps up? Who's going to be the guy to stick up for people and really get this team going? Honestly, what I'm afraid of is Simmons is not going to do that, and who am I supposed to rely on? Radko Gudas or
Hag and Gudas are the only two.
Or Dale Weiss?
It's sad because
I don't want Weiss in the lineup.
I don't want him in there either.
Yeah.
You're gonna. Well, I'd hope some of the younger kids trying to make the team when you see your. Well, even Weiss, because if he wants to stay with the squad, I don't. Vorborov is kind of small, but like maybe we'll see what Corbin Knight has. Lawton can throw.
I like Lawton this year. I think I'm going to get his jersey, by the way. Just throwing that out there.
Not a bad buy.
Nah. I wore a Mazzaros the other night. I could flash that.
Mazzaros.
Andre Mazzaros. I ran into him in a super fresh in Philly one morning before work.
Did you say hi?
Yeah, I was right after he had his shoulder surgery, so he was in there with his wife or girlfriend. He had the sling on, 6 foot 5. He stuck out like a sore thumb in there. Yeah, I recognized him right away with those little mouth, his rabbit teeth.
He used to be good at one point, I swear, but no.
He was all right.
Yeah, you would hope the answer should be easy. It should be Gudis, and he can't because he's horrified of being suspended for life. I can't blame him a little bit, but at the same time, you can't let the NHL, whose disciplinary committee is a complete joke, change your career. Like the guy Lindblom got his head driven into the boards, didn't get a penalty, he didn't get a suspension, he didn't get a fine. If that's Gudis, I bet you he gets like a 5-game suspension for that. You know,
at least put Giroux's name on the back of that jersey, and then maybe someone gets suspended. But it's like the Peterson.
Oh, but yeah, the Pedersen, the choke slam, the body slam.
He got 2 games for that. I mean,
it's a joke.
It was egregious, but that wasn't suspendable to me. I don't think that was nearly worth the suspension.
I thought the Lindblom thing was worse.
You're going to see more of that.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah, because they don't want their star players. It's kind of like the NFL. I just hope they don't.
To me, that's a joke. It should not matter who's getting hit or who's doing the hitting.
I agree with you.
The hitting's different, but who's getting hit shouldn't matter. It should be the same standard across the board.
No, I agree with you. I hate how the NFL has changed their game so much. I honestly, I don't watch football half as much as I used to. It makes me so angry, and I hope they don't do that in hockey. I don't think they will. It's a little uneven right now, but sports are dangerous. That's why you make millions of dollars. Exactly. So I don't want to hear all this safety crap. Yeah, do whatever you can. Don't change the game. Once you start affecting the game, well, then too bad. You can't ruin the game, and the NFL is losing viewership, and you know it.
Bring him to hockey.
Yeah, well, plenty of seats here. I'll tell you that. Well, what's the how much time's left in the first, Steve?
Intermission should be just finishing up shortly, so second should be coming on in like 3 minutes.
We're still up?
Yep, never mind. About to drop the puck.
Oh shit! All right. Well,
we wrap this up.
Anybody got anything else?
I think we're good for now.
I think. I
got my frustrations out. Now I'm ready to watch the second and third period.
Until next week when we have more.
I'm still frustrated.
We're going to be 4-4-1, and we're going to have the same conversation all over again. Mediocrity.
That's what it's going to be, man. It's not going to be good.
I want somebody. This is the first season where Hakstol has openly come out and be like, okay, we're now trying to win.
Yep.
Okay, well, prove it to me. Really prove it to me. So
yeah, give me something.
And I love Hakstol. And I'm like, let's go, because it's for real now. So
I think we may finish with less points than we did last year, quite honestly. What did we finish with, 98?
I think it was 90. Yeah, I think it was 98. Somewhere right around there.
I'm curious to see if they go through any more 10-game losing streaks. Oh. That's what I just don't want to see that. I don't care how you get into the playoffs, but don't be doing that crap. Like, come on.
Dude, after the first 6 games, first 6 games, everybody, so don't get all crazy on me, but they miss the playoffs if they play like this all year. They don't make it.
Well, they need to figure something out defensively and in goal, and that's 2 huge – and penalty kill. Those are 3 huge things.
Well, you can solve 2 with 1 if you improve your goaltending or you improve your defense. You can solve the penalty kill right there. So
at least improve it, yeah. And if it's still bad and the Lappy doesn't go, I give up. I give up. Like I mean, come on. If it's not the personnel, it's the system. So let's go. So yeah, we'll see. They got Felipe Myers. I mean, I know he hasn't been killing it with the Phantoms, but he's got to be better than Mcdonald. You
can't tell me he's not more skilled than Mcdonald. And if you try to, you're just insane. Well, there's 2-2.
Jesus, come on. I didn't even get to turn the TV on yet.
Dude, they get scored on first in the second period a lot too. Everybody focuses on the first. This is not like a one period thing. They come out flat every single period.
Yep.
They don't start anything well, except for maybe overtime. That's about it.
The only times they've wowed me this year is combined maybe 10 minutes between the Vegas game where they scored 1 million goals and then the Florida game where they scored 1 million goals. Other than that, they've been pretty unimpressive.
Again, they're not ready. Steve, what was it? A minute and 10 seconds into the second?
I don't even know if it's that. They're still showing a replay.
That's a joke, man.
Minute and 34.
Unbelievable. Are you kidding me?
What, and that was after it was after they had a couple decent chances, and then they went back, odd man rush and backdoor tap in.
Unbelievable. All right. Well, with that wonderful high note, let's wrap this up, and I guess I'll go watch this game.
You sound so excited.
Yeah, I'll see you guys next week for this.
Sounds good, boys.
Looking forward to
a couple W's.
Yeah, please. Let's do
an undefeated week. I feel it.
Either undefeated or completely defeated.
All right, we're out of here. FHW Radio, guys. Hit subscribe. Leave a comment. Leave some feedback. Let us know how we're doing.
Until next time.
See you next week.
Later, boys.
See you.
Adios.